Yeah?
Yeah, you guys all good?
Okay.
Hey, ready? Yep.
I didn't have the money to pay for. Mom's asking me all just for a nickel. I said no. Said no. Said no. Said no. Landlord's kicking holes in my back door. Now he wants a little money to pay for. I'm just a bum asking people for a nickel. They all said no. Said no. Said no. Police don't like the way that I'm walking. I didn't have the nerve to stop him. My baby threw a rock through my window. Oh no, no. Said no. Well, they found my head in a patch of rhododendron. Well, they found my body about a mile away. I said, baby, baby, I'm telling you it wasn't me. Baby, baby, oh, 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 let me be free. Well, they called the sheriff up on his telephone. Ring, ring, ring. 'Cause they found my car abandoned down on the side of the road. I said, baby, baby, I'm telling you it wasn't me. Oh, baby, baby, oh, oh, it just can't be. Well, I've been on the run for the past 6 days. I've been looking for a place there, all that I can stay. I said, baby, baby, oh, let me in. I said, an innocent man with first degree. And I said, baby, 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 it's such a shame. Baby, baby, oh, I'm not to blame. Howdy, people on the radio. Johnny Conqueroo. This one's called Why. Some people think I've lost my head. Well, some people wish I was dead. And just now maybe, oh just maybe, it'll come true. Checked into my motel room, looked through the phone book, and I couldn't find nobody I could call. And I said, why is everyone so cold? And I said, why is everyone so cold? Saw my only friend today. Well, he didn't have much to say, so I guess I'm here all alone. And I said, why are people so cold? I said, why are people so cold?
Came from Muddy Waters. It's like a blues kind of thing. It goes back to like voodoo and mojo and it's got a whole thing. You put it in your mojo bag. It's for good luck. It's a root.
Cool.
You can buy Johnny Conqueroo online. We wanted to do some kind of fun merch with that.
Yeah. Picking it up. I mean,
I
think
that. Yeah,
must.
that'd be cool. You know, some Johnny Conqueroo branded Johnny Conqueroo.
Mojo bag.
Mojo, yeah, make your own mojo bag.
So that's, you're already touching on the blues there, and that's something I want to maybe touch on a little bit later. But obviously, you guys are kind of young cats, and this has been going on for a little while. Like, you guys started. How old were you when this started, and how long has this group been going on? Let's start there.
I think this is our 4th year.
Yeah.
Wills and I came together, I think, sophomore year maybe.
Yeah, it was like freshman or sophomore year, probably closer to sophomore year.
Yeah.
And I met Sean in high school, so it was definitely sophomore year. Before that, Grant and I had been jamming since like middle school, but it wasn't Johnny Conqueroo really until high school.
Yeah. So what got you all into blues music?
Country, really.
Yeah.
I used to go down to Nashville a whole lot and go to the honky tonks down there. And I don't know, it just kind of slowly progressed into country, honky tonk, into blues and R&B and that sort of thing. And then, I think, I don't know.
Good music, just like a lot of soul, a lot of vibe, a lot more emphasis on like, the feeling of the performance than like the technicality.
Yeah.
You can get that a lot in those like early genres. I mean, and plus like as a rock and roll group, I mean that's
of
the fundamentals,
Yeah, you're definitely a band that plays with a lot of feeling. I mean, technically it's very sound and it's wonderful, but like the feeling is unmistakable. And there's certainly something that maybe our listeners they got to come see you live, because there's something about the live show atmosphere that you all bring that's like up another notch, like up another level. Individually, when did you all first start getting into making music and why?
I started off in trumpet in like 1st grade, I think. And then by 4th grade, I started guitar, and I was cursed ever since.
My dad has always been super into music, and he played in a bunch of bands. So I've always had like, the drum kit, bass stuff, guitar stuff in the basement. So like, since I've been little, I've been able to just go down there and fiddle around without feeling like nervous, I still haven't taken any like real lessons on instruments, But it was probably when Grant was like, hey, let's figure something out. It was like, okay, so let's, be a little more serious and try to learn how to do it a little better.
You guys have been around for 4 years. You've got like 2 albums out, right? So you've got 2 kind of formal albums that you've released, and you've got an EP coming up. Can you talk a little bit about that EP, and then maybe a little bit about what was different this time, now that you guys have been in the studio a lot over the last 4 years? Like, how was it different making this project?
Most professional thing we've done is in a studio instead of Wils's basement.
Yeah.
Off garage band.
Yeah, before that it's all been in my basement.
But it was a pretty quick process. It was like 2 days. I think we were there, recorded 5 songs, and did some overdubs.
It was super fun. But this one we worked with Dwayne Lundy, who does Shangri-La Productions, and it's like, this giant old house. It's like this big house. It doesn't really feel like a studio. That was one of my favorite parts. It's like huge ceilings. He's got like tapestries everywhere. You feel like it's got that same thing where it's like you feel like you're just hanging out with like your buddies, and then next thing you know, you have like the 5 songs.
2 days later,
Yeah.
The project's done. That's cool.
Yeah.
So on that note, a little bit more. When you're making this project, did you have any kind of like central ideas or themes in mind that you kind of wanted to convey through this, or was it kind of like more of a collection of songs that you've been writing, you've been working on, you've been playing, and decided to put it together?
Yeah, it wasn't too thought out. I don't think it was pretty, much either us just coming up with songs or writing them on our own and then making it work and happen.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the other ones, where I think like Washed Up was the most recent, was more of sort of a collection of songs.
Mhm.
But this one, I think, with the help of Dwayne especially, like it comes across maybe more cohesive
Yeah.
than previous records.
And they
Which
were
is
all
nice, which it makes it.
they were all written around the same time too. All the songs,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they and also written all around the same time, so they kind of are a little bit. They do kind of have a focus, a general focus.
Yeah.
But yeah, written around the same time, and I think an important part about those is that we had been playing them live for a really long time before we were recording them. So by the time we brought them to the studio, they had kind of really like settled into the feeling that we wanted from those songs.
Yeah, it kind of turned into maybe what, like, as opposed to you write some songs to record and like you get in the studio right away and you play it later, and maybe that song turns into something else, right?
Mhm.
But kind of that experience, having played it a lot,
Yeah, like the beginning.
they were matured. Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning,
Yeah.
Brick was like, it had a completely different kind of, not completely different, it was just a little bit different. We played it live and added some parts to, and you can see you have that like feedback with the audience. Like, if you do something good and all of a sudden everyone's freaking out, it's like, okay, that's something we want to bring into the studio.
That's interesting, and that's something that I want to keep talking about the album a little bit, or the EP a little bit, but something I'd like to touch too and talk about is kind of that interaction with the audience. Like, what's the biggest difference for you as artists, musicians, performers, playing a show like this, right? There's like, an audience, kind of like a live audience here of like 4 of us, and you got people listening over the radio, but there's obviously something way different about having that like atmosphere. What's the biggest difference for you as far as like playing like this, or just playing together in the studio versus like playing a live show with people that are like going crazy or whatever?
Well, I mean, the live crowd
Nothing better
Always.
than that.
always brings it. Jared, we good to go?
I'm gonna make sure this floor's on.
I broke a string, so I gotta fix my guitar. Any requests? Oh.
Yeah, call in. Call in.
Yeah.
Call in.
Gotta tune my guitar.
Yeah, no problem. And in the meantime, any listeners that are hearing this and are like, man, this is a cool radio station, I want to get involved with that. We got Disorientation coming up like really soon. Does anybody in here know the exact date?
It's like June 9th.
June 9th?
Yeah, June 9th. Yeah, thank you. So if you want to be a DJ, come by June 9th. Find more information on our website or on social media. Just look up WRFL on Facebook or something like that. All right. Back to the music.
All right.
I got a baby that's 10 feet tall. Well, you know I love her and I love her all. She comes over, I say, get in my bedroom. Don't you forget to lock the door. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. I got a side chick. She's 2'2". She'll do anything that I tell her to do. I say, come over, baby, and let's get stoned. That's all about rock and roll. Now rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. On the streets about every night. Well, I'm with one of my friends or a chick that's out of sight. We get going and we get going around, you know. I've been on every block of this old town. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Now rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Yeah, we got one more for you called Calculations. Calculations. Oh, really been on my mind. Calculations. Taking up all my time. Come on, listen to me. Oh, calculation. Oh, making me feel funny. Emancipation. Oh, taking up all my money. You don't listen, do you? Dog! Calculation! 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 Thank you.
Johnny Conqueroo, guys, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. It's been our pleasure. We love WRFL. Always have, always will.
We need the disorientation date.
Yeah,
We're keeping up with it.
Yeah, check out their EP show at The Burl, June 16th. Thanks for listening. That was dope, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you, man.